often people try to compartmentalize different areas of their life. And I've seen that in addiction treatment, generally speaking, everybody in different groups are trying to do exactly that. For example, let's say you're a medical doctor. You want to treat addiction pharmacologically, meaning with medicine or a pill of some kind. And I would say that there's relevance to that in certain situations. At certain times we need medicine and we need pharmacological support. But that's just treating one aspect of the human experience, really the physical or the medicinal support. The pharmacological support might be treating the brain or the endocrine system or creating an effect in the nervous system. Wonderful. Well, what about your psychology? Well, that brings you to your psychologists or your therapists. And in some cases, psychiatrists, but mostly psychiatrists are prescribing medication. A psychologist is going to approach addiction from the psychological standpoint. Oh, you have a mental issue. You are experiencing intense negativity. You are experiencing the phenomenon of craving, and you feel it as a human being in your mind. Now, anybody who struggled with addiction of any kind understands how the mind can become your master. And as we would say in yoga, the mind is a terrible master, but a very good servant. So the question always is, how can we get the mind to serve us rather than to control us and to own us? In addiction, the mind works upon a human being. The psychologist tries to treat that aspect. And that's wonderful, that's important. But it's only one aspect. Maybe you've been drawn to the 12-step programs. These are spiritual programs. Their stated intention is to build a spiritual experience and a spiritual connection between a person and a higher power, whatever that means to that person. Wonderful program. The most widespread and successful approach to addiction that we currently have. And it's great. It treats the spiritual aspect of addiction. And that's so important. But once again, it leaves out the physical. It leaves out the breath. It leaves out stress management. It leaves out the endocrine system. It leaves out the nervous system. It leaves out the brain. So while it's a very important component of recovery, it's just one component. So as you can see where I'm sort of heading here is, I'm up at night, honestly thinking about this all the time. Why haven't we had more success in the treatment of addiction? Why is it growing in every area of human life? So you named a few of them, drugs, alcohol, food addiction, sex addiction, codependency, relationship disorders, eating disorders, all the money addictions, gambling, shopping, being constantly in a state of debt, and of course, technology. Why are we moving in the direction of addiction? What's underneath it? And why are we not more successful in our treatment? In my opinion, and what we're seeing through the work at Recovery 2.0, which is my organization where we advocate for a holistic approach to recovery, because addiction is holistically dismantling human beings. It can't be put any other way. So everybody wants to separate mind and body. They're inseparable. They operate as a unit. Even though you may have to approach the mind and the body through different modalities, you're also going to have to approach spirituality. And spirituality doesn't have to be a daunting, unaccessible concept for people. It's just the human being's longing to belong, longing for love, longing for connection, longing for purpose and a meaning here. That's what I'm talking about in the spiritual sense. So we have to approach addiction in all those ways. Addiction works upon us mentally. It completely works on the body, changes the way your brain works, messes with your endocrine system. The endocrine system, the pharmacy within you, right? We want to be able to access the endogenous chemicals within. We want that endocrine system to be working. And when it's working, it's delivering the right drugs to the right places at the right time, in the right amounts. That's called natural. And you feel it as just feeling good. Addiction changes all that. Addiction tinkers with all that. So our path to healing and our approach to recovery from addiction has to be holistic in nature. It must work at the level of mind and body and spirit. And in order to do that, we need, in some cases, medical approaches, psychological approaches. We definitely need yoga and meditation. Why yoga? It works on the body, it works on the mind. We're using the breath. For 5,000 years, people have been practicing yoga, and the anecdotal evidence has been, I feel better after I practice yoga. So that is enough for me to say, if addiction is dis-ease or distance from ease, recovery should be all about closing the distance between you and ease.
Agree.
So anything in recovery, which is a valid and legitimate recovery modality, should bring you closer to a sense of ease in your life. That means that the way that you eat, what you eat, is going to be a big factor. That's largely overlooked in addiction treatment. The people that you hang out with, the community that you have, is going to be a big factor. Every input of the media that you watch, all the things that you take in, all of that is going to be a factor in you creating ease in recovery. So if you can do some yoga, do some meditation, calm the mind, create a sense of presence, free from stress, which people need to know is possible, then you're moving yourself toward ease, and you are on your path, your true path of recovery. And it's working at every level of your being.